Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Hi everyone. Hi everyone in the waiting room. I'm Kiera, co-founder of Startup ROI. We are actually here to host our awesome guest, Thomas, today. Our team will quickly introduce ourselves and then we will let Thomas take the floor. Go for it, guys. Anyone? Go for it. We are actually here to host.
So I had to run in here. So I'm Kelly. I'm VP of People on Startup ROI. Also founder of Empire Headhunters. So I head up all the people, partnership, and talent division. Really looking forward to hearing Thomas. He is excellent.
And it's a pleasure for me to be here. I'm Cheryl. I head up sales and corporate sponsorships and partnerships, almost merge those together. I'm also the founder of an organization and known as the sales growth coach around the internet street. So pleasure to meet you, Thomas. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. So I think it's my turn.
Let's let Paul introduce himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, so my name is Paul Claxton, serial entrepreneur, former U.S. Marine. Today I'm a venture capitalist. I've been working in venture capital for about 3.5 or 4 years. I've got my own VC fund. We invest in AI companies. Yeah, so that's who I am professionally. Personally, just like to hit the gym. You know, cigar and wine aficionado, and all around car guy. So that's me.
Nice to meet you.
Awesome. Well, Thomas, go ahead and introduce yourself and take the floor.
So thank you. My name is Thomas. It's been 7 years that I've been working in the merger and acquisition and fundraising space for tech companies. I was born and raised in Paris, and now I'm based in Amsterdam, a city that I've moved a year ago in order to be able to develop the cross-border tech M&A practice. And the reason why I'm talking here today is that I've met Kelly and Kiara a couple of months ago, and they introduced me their awesome initiative regarding helping AI companies find a market and scale. And based on that, I say, oh, okay, I'm in. So, and for that reasons, and for that reason that I'm here to talk about what I've been doing and how I could help, how I can share my expertise and my experience towards AI company in order for them to make the best decisions possible.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, you can go into your presentation, or
yeah. I thought it was like more talk to talk because I have so I didn't prepare something. I just write. I actually published an essay yesterday morning about the topic I'm going to talk about tonight. So tonight here in Europe, and so maybe what do you want me to do? So should I just spit it out, or
yeah,
it's going to be more a conversation?
We are definitely going to have questions for you, so don't worry about that. I just you can begin the conversation maybe with some points from your essay, and then we can dive in after.
Sure, perfect. So I think it's important to give some context about why I write this essay that is about bridging the gap between enterprise value and that is market value and post-money valuation, because based on my my business, I'm advising VC-backed tech companies regarding their M&A journey, And the thing is like there is like my performance regarding running M&A processes was highly correlated by the fact that my clients already knows or already worked with a company that has acquired them down the line. And the thing is like, as I like to reflect about every deal that I've been involved, I saw these things that was recurring things. Like I think I've seen that 3 or 4 times. So I think it's an important fact to know. And the thing is actually makes sense when I told like my friend that, hey, do you know that it was really easy during this process because the founder really has already worked or has really like done some tech integration, has already done some commercial deals, that already done some I don't know, that have answering together some requests for proposal together, and that was really helpful for my hand to help them negotiate the best terms and actually help them get premium on market value, and this premium on market value has helped us bridging the gap between post-money valuation and the market value. And that was really important for these kind of companies, because as they has raised funds, their venture capitalists obviously put some liquidation preferences. I think in most cases in the French tech scene, that's something that is really common. And I've seen like some clients I've seen a difference between client that has already this kind of working relationship and those that who haven't. Like there are some very different outcomes, and it was not depending about the quality of their business model. It was most about the perception of their intangible assets that all this company has. So I thought that it was a good thing to write and to share these insights in order to make this kind of company build relationship, not opportunistically, like they're doing that in order to doing that in purpose regarding the M&A deal. Sorry for my English.
You don't have to apologize. Everyone, Thomas has an accent. Let's get that out of the way. Okay. So I've read your article, at least a few parts of it, but we don't know the story, and
Sure.
the people watching, they don't know the story. Do you mind maybe going into a little bit about what took place, and maybe even a little bit about that startup, and kind of giving us a little more context?
Sure. About the company, yeah, sure. So regarding the company that has done well regarding this valuation, it was about a software company that has been operating in France. They have raised a couple of rounds. So they raised a pre-seed, a seed, a small Series A round, and especially during the 2021 bubbles. So there has like some interesting terms regarding valuation or regarding the money that they have been able to raise because of this the inflation that the fundraising private market has been experiencing. So however, 2 years from after like this the fundraising, they didn't have achieved the kind of growth that could make them raise another fundraising rounds, because as the bubble explodes, so the criteria in order to be able to raise Series B has going through to next level. And so this company was like quite out of the VC track from fundraising purposes. So this company was as really a good the founders has a lot of ambition to grow. They are really startup founders. For me, a startup founders is like someone that has built a company that is designed to grow fast and to scale. And the fact that they weren't able to scale their business on their own, relying on venture capital money, was really painful for them. And this is when I met them in order to find a solution and options for them to continue grow and achieve their ambition of building a rocket ship. It was the analogy that that I use in my article. And so when we were as I'm an M&A professional, I introduced the idea that it may be a good thing to find a partnership that will help them scale the business. And so based on that, say, okay, so we tested the market. We have evaluated that the M&A market was quite promising. So that's why we on our side, we decided to take the deal. And for this kind of company, because if I give you a little bit of context, it's a company that was below 5 million euros annual recurring revenues. And because of that, so the kind of buyers that are the most active in the market, aka the financial buyers, like the private equity group and stuff like that, and people like that, are not weren't addressable because they don't invest in this kind of opportunity. So the only players that we can address are strategic buyers, and as I say in my article, they come in all of kind of color and flavors, and the thing is that compared to other company that was in the same situation, the process was really smooth. That was really smooth. Why? It does because on top of doing all of our outreach actions in order to build a pipeline. And so we have the chance to rely on prospects that was cold to warm, as they have already know our clients through events or through, like I say in my article, I say that it was like peer related activities. So we rely on that. That is kind of cool, because when we reach out, so we can have some shared history to in order to introduce ourselves and begin the conversation. So as you know, M&A is really about sales. Most of it's like a really strong part of the job, and we also rely like on two warm prospects that are already working together, either doing cross-selling activities through commercial alliances, or either have done like some technical alliances in order to build an offer that has been already generating good revenues. And because of that, the process was really smooth, and we thought that it was a process that is going to be quite long. That we are going to brace ourselves with a process that will be last at least 12 months. Because 12 months, why? Because in order to be able to make the connection, and build trust between our clients and several buyers, and the fact that the trust was already there. Also, the value beyond the balance sheets. So what I refer when I say balance sheet is like the annual recurring revenue, the EBITDA, the Rule of 40, the cash flow generation. You know, and so we and thanks to this. Historical working relationship, we managed to have bids. That's one thing, and also especially bids that was already beyond the common market value for this kind of companies, and because of that, we will be able to to create like a small bidding war between two companies, and that has leveraged these assets for really different kind of reasons, one for technical and one from commercial alliances, and that's helped us end up with a deal that in the terms was very good. In deal terms, was actually quite good and way beyond our initial expectation as an M&A specialist. I don't know if I answered the question.
You did. You
okay,
did.
Perfect.
Yeah. Do you guys have questions? Does anyone here have questions?
I have a few.
Sure.
And so I'll kind of start with what you just spoke of. Thomas, thank you so much. Do you feel that it is the quality of relationships or quantity? Like, should you have vast relationships to accomplish the goal, or deep relationships?
I think at some point, I think the best part is to start with like quality relationship, and one of our value is to bring the quantitative size of the relationship, and that's one of the reasons that we are thinking about an offer that could help companies invest, because it's a real investment that could help company invest or developing as many this kind of relationship as possible, because down the line it will be a huge benefit regarding M&A deal terms.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. That's excellent. Helpful. You talked a little bit about, which is one of my favorite topics, intangible. I wouldn't say assets is my favorite topic, but intangible services, intangible skill sets, intangible competencies. Can you talk a little bit more about the intangible assets piece of it and how important it is to the process?
Actually, it's going to be like my next essay about diving into what we characterize as intangibles. So right now I'm just going to speak about like theoretical intangible assets and when I will write this my next essay, I will try to turn this theoretical framework into more actionable and more usable frameworks for everyone that wants to leverage it. So when I will talk about when I refer to intangible, I mostly refer about capabilities. Capabilities a company has, and actually I steal these terms from Equal Ventures. I think the GP is called Rick Zullo. He has coined this term, and because he was talking about that when he has a take that most people view competitive advantages or modes the bad way, and he say that before having modes, companies must have capability, and it's from their work into developing these capabilities that they are able to develop modes. And modes is like if we can able to leverage them in the M&A process, can be very, very valuable regarding our performance. So everything is kind of linked, because us doing M&A, the operational part about building capabilities. And what is the capabilities? So the capabilities is like there is two kinds. The one that is about customers, what is the level of integration that you have with customers? Is a company able to identify customer needs before everyone else? And because of that, is the company is able to address those needs, and therefore become maybe like a distribution channel for every problem a company or a group of company may have. It is the kind of capabilities that we refer as intangible, because we can't see these advantage in balance sheets, because maybe the company doesn't have an offer that is large enough to be able to address all the problem a company may have. So that's kind of capabilities that another company with a larger offer could leverage using these intangible assets, for example. But I won't be tell everything, because it's like really comprehensive set of capabilities, and I think it's kind of boring. So I will write another essay and maybe like talk about that and giving you more color and more example. That's how these capabilities could be leveraged.
Okay, and so maybe I missed it, but you said there are two, right? So one is the customers. Did I miss?
Yes, and the other one is about suppliers.
Suppliers.
Yeah, about suppliers.
Okay, so we're kind of talking like ecosystem stuff in a way.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, excellent. And then my last question, they're all three a little bit disjointed. And I think I just had a question in my mind, so I'll ask it in case anyone else has it. Is there a trigger, so to speak, in beginning to build a relationship in the space, right? So if a founder had a trigger of some type that they could put on their radar to be sure, or should they be building from the very beginning? I'm just thinking about the value proposition. When's the best time for them to begin that piece?
I think, and I will also refer to Equal Ventures. I think like during the fundraising rounds, I think it's the kind of awareness that venture capital should bring to the table, as it's because it's in their interest, because down the line that is going to make most of the value of the company. So I think it's like being the job of a venture capitalist to bring awareness and to make sure that some of the capital that I've been investing is going towards building these capabilities, these modes, and also building all the dashboards. Because if you are not aware about building capabilities, I'm sure that you don't have any metrics to see if you're going in the right directions. And I think it's the job of venture capitalists or the advisors around them to make sure that they are integrate all the criticality, I don't know if it's an English word, about building these capabilities, these intangibles.
Yes, I love that. That's excellent. Sales is very much based on measurement of what I've heard called income producing activities or key performance indicators or whatever it is. But yeah, measuring something to be sure we know whether you're getting to success and where we can adjust based on failure and pipeline growth, right? So yeah, excellent. Thank you very much. Very, very helpful.
Thank you.
About to start talking and I was muted. Really great points. Just listening to both you and Cheryl chat, it really put me in the mindset of startups. We speak with a lot of startups that may be in earlier stages, and I think they have awesome ideas, but those ideas may not necessarily be suited for a larger scale.
Yes.
And at the same time, they also need capital. They need they need to secure fundraising, and they need to attract customers that are, I don't want to say large enough, because if I say large enough, everyone thinks large, really large customers, but that can actually afford them and can have them produce something that's going to be scalable for them to have long-term business. So it just really put me in that mindset. I don't know if I'm posing this as a question, but I'd love for us to chat about it. Just what is the thoughts that a startup should be having when going into a business? And because there is a conflict, I'm sure, from personally, there's a conflict. I mean, I'm a founder of a startup. I come up with tons of ideas, and I get really passionate about my ideas and I want to do them, but it's not always that they solve a large enough problem. What are some things that startups should be, or should even have as a something to help them direct their focus as they're coming and launching things and moving into market? What are your thoughts, everyone?
Yeah. My thought is like because I have a biotech engineer background, so I come from research, healthcare research. I've been working on a team that has been developing drugs, new drugs, in order to solve Parkinson's. And the reason why I'm talking about this is like I also refer to an article that has been written a couple of years ago right now by Paul Graham, the founder of YC, and where he used the analogy that a startup founder as economic researchers, and their goal is to able to find a problem to solve that is large enough to build a company that has a large scale. And and because all the obvious idea is taken, it's really about fundamental research, like we seen in healthcare, in the healthcare industry. And I think, based on this analogy, if founders really wants to build a startup is a company that is designed to grow fast, is to be able to find those ideas, those problems, and test and learn, and see which ideas generate the more growth. Because I think growth is like the alpha and omega, and the really strong indicator to rely to see if in the early stage phase you have found something really big to solve, and more importantly, find a way to address clients.
Great.
And if you and I think, and I felt, if you don't have that, raising money is not useful. And I know, because in the past 7 to 8 years, I've seen a lot of startup founders that didn't have, unfortunately, startups. So, and I think raising money won't be a solution. It won't be a solution. It's going to be like maybe a waste of capital. If you don't have a proof that, okay, you have like something that is going to be huge.
Good
And
point.
it's really hard, because it's really hard for founders that are on the field, that are on the field, and they're heard from somebody that isn't operational, that their idea isn't going to be huge, and that is not going to be VC bankable or VC compatible. And it's kind of it's not the good part of the job for us when startup founder come to us and say, I don't think it's going to be a good fit with venture capital, based on what we see.
Yeah, good point. Does anyone else have a comment? Guys, feel free. No?
I don't have any questions. I'm loving the whole conversation, Thomas. And when you speak about not VC backable, a lot of people tend to put the cart before the horse, sort of thing, and so the audience is enjoying this. I just wanted to let you know as well, there's lots of hearts coming, and Yash, it says venture capital should be a means to an end, not a goal. So it's kind of like, it's in sync with what you're saying as well. Tcheudjio, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, but just saying it's very interesting. So they're enjoying the conversation. Just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
My audio is all over the place as well. So if I log or jump out, I haven't left, just letting you know.
And I'm curious to know about what Paul Anthony think about this conversation, as he is a venture capitalist and he is putting his money in the market.
So just elaborate a little bit for me.
Just what?
Just elaborate a little bit for me. So when you say that you're curious to know what I think, specifically on what, because we covered a lot of information.
Yeah, so it was basically about like the comments about how about the founders that wants to have money, that wants to raise money in order to build? And it's like a bit of chicken and egg problem. Say, okay, I want to build a great company, but I need funding, but no one is going to get me funding, so I'm kind of stuck.
Yeah, I think it comes down to being able to have a bootstrapper's mentality. There's a great book called The Bootstrapper's Bible. It's a short read, maybe like 100 pages. But getting in the right mindset to be able to kind of run your operation without other people's money. If you've got a product or a service that's good enough, the customers will come, and you'll always have money kind of flowing through the door. So now your ability to scale and develop increased traction, that may be a lot tougher, right? It may be more strenuous to compete, more tenacious to compete, because you don't have the muscle, you don't have the accelerated capital flowing in to accelerate your operation. So you don't have like floodwaters of capital flowing in. So it can be hard to compete and rush towards an exit or turn into like this billion-dollar unicorn. But slow and steady wins the race. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So just focus on. I say this every time. Like, focus on the customers. If you're building a good product, if you're solving a difficult enough problem, then the customers and they'll come and the investors will follow. So it's kind of like thunderstorms, right? It's like,
Sure.
Oh, like I see the clouds, it must be getting ready to rain. So think of it kind of like that. If you focus on the customers, then the investors will come. So having a bootstrapper's mentality, I think, is important, because even after you raise capital, you're still going to have to have like that bootstrapper's mentality, right? Because that capital is only going to get you so far, right? You've only got so much runway before that capital runs out, and you can't be raising capital. You can't be raising $1 million here, 500,000 there every 3 months, every 6 months. You got to have a set structure and a set plan for how you're going to allocate those funds and grow the operation. So does that kind of help? And
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Perfect.
Yeah.
Like a customer first, investor will follow. So that's
basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So do you have any more questions for me?
Yeah. Does anyone else have questions? I don't want to jump ahead.
We have
Anyone?
a question from someone on the live, from Hind Kenudu. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah.
How will you define a good VC? So I think there's two questions here. How will you define a good VC? That's an open-ended question. And what will be the early warning signs that it could be a good or bad investment? Great question, Hind.
Okay, thank you, In. It's my friend. Throwing me like a really hard question. From my side, from my point of view, there is no good and bad VCs. I think there is only good and bad investments. And the thing is, there is like some warnings that could help you think that down the line it's going to be a bad investment, because when the deal, when everyone shakes hands, everyone is happy, the deal seems awesome, but it's always down the line when there is like an exit that we see that the deal that has been made, like regarding the deal terms or or the way that the post-money valuation, according the pre and post-money valuation, that may be a huge blocker to a deal. And to be more specific, I think there is like some terms in the VC scene that is like market practice, and and those who aren't, like when I think about that, the first thing that pops into my mind is like about liquidation preferences. And so, if you see an early stage VC that calls that demand like 3 times participating liquidation preferences, know that it's going to be a bad deal down in the end, because those kind of deal has been structured in order to be made that if there is an upside, everyone is happy, but if there is a downside, the VC wins and not everybody loses. So that's kind of a shitty investment from my end. And also, if there is bad deals that is happening, is like when the valuations or the founders has taken too many dilution during their series, their historical series of funding, So if the founders that has before raising a Series A or Series A has less than less than 40%, for example, it's going be sure that it's going to be a red flag for other investors to coming after, because it's going to be a point in which the founder will be not working for themselves, but working for the investors. And with this kind of early stage company, be sure that it's not going to be like a good ending. So I think a good deal, not if we don't talk about the bad deal, but a good deal is a deal when the founders will still incentives in order to build a rocket ship, and it may come at some point. It may make sense that the founders may cash out a little in order to be able to not to worry about their kids going to college, and they're all to go from a renter to a landlord to owner. And because if they have this kind of things that are secured, they will be able to take more risk and to double down on their company. That is good for everybody, from me. And so the first thing to be able to incentivize to give founders good incentives, and the second things to when things didn't go as planned. I know that the venture capital business is all about go big or go home, but when it's time to go home, like most of the time, to not to be able that the founders come back home with something that is not always the case. And also it's the responsibility of both, like the founders and the investors. But I think that a good deal, a bad deal is when the founders could be end up with nothing if the plans go south.
Great point. I would really love to gauge our audience. I want to know how many people watching are early stage. So when I say early stage, I mean pre-revenue, maybe even pre-product, and how many are later stage. So that's, post-product. You may be post-product and have some revenue. I'm not really, the expectation isn't that you have tons of revenue, but that you're a little bit later stage. So if you are early stage, drop a 1 in the chat. And if you are later stage, drop a 2 in the chat. I'll be looking at the chat. Early stage, a 1.
There's a little bit of lag, so I'm watching the stream as well. So it'll be a second or two before they hear that, Kara. So I'm watching the other then. But they've just said as well, that was very informative, Thomas, very clear, and thank you a lot for that information.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, well, yes, there's a lag. Oh, I see a 1. Looking for a viable business model. Good on you for looking for a viable business model rather than just jumping into one. Great. That's awesome.
Very switched on as well. He's very engaging and likes to kind of seep up all the information that he can get. He's going to go far when he starts. That's going to be like a rocket.
Awesome. Awesome. Do you have any questions in regards to, you don't have to give away anything. I know this is live, but if you have a question about something that you're thinking, let us know and we can try and answer it for you.
Yes.
And I'm still looking for the 1s and 2s in the chat. Oh, he's laughing. Yeah. So I guess there's a lag. So in the meantime, I think we're having a really awesome chat. Did any one of you guys have a question? I saw Cheryl jotting things down. I know you may have one.
I'm always jotting things down. You just don't know. And I also think that the pen is like the recorder to the mind. So, even if I write, listen, hear, look, it just all comes together when it's time. So in terms of, I don't have a specific question. Can I ask how you got into this? I'm just curious. There's so much here. Like, how did you get into this space? And it's a longer story to tell us how you developed your expertise. Sure. Maybe just starting with how you got into it.
By accident, actually. It was totally by accident, because I said I have an engineering background, but I already knew that at the beginning that what I'm going to do, that I want to do is business. Mm-hmm. Is business, and it actually comes from like conferences in which there is like the holders and the most famous VC funds in healthcare and in Paris that has made like a conference about what it is to be a venture capitalist, and say, wow, that's when I want to be into business, like in order to invest into innovation and to select project and mainly to create value. And I think it was to the fact of the thrilling thing about creating something that another person that is going to buy is like, I think it's a pretty good feeling. And so that's why I was on the lookout of something about business. And by accident, I dropped into M&A in internship first It was a firm called, it is a firm because I'm still with them. It's a firm called Positive Capital. That is like a France-based M&A boutique. And it's with them that I've learned everything. And I think the fact that I'm here because I still have this engineering mindset, and this engineering mindset forced me to try to understand how things works, how really things works, and how the mechanism that makes someone's tells that, okay, this is a good investment. Okay, I know that if I'm investing in that, I will get my money, and I will get like 1x, 2x, 10x about my money. And it's all this mechanism that is really really interesting for me to know, and it's actually a passion to be able to understand all this mechanism works, all the economy works, because I think I'm talking about economy, and is the reason why I'm starting to write essays in order for me to share to share the insights that I've been gathering during my experiences, during also my reading, because I'm reading a lot about the people who is doing the market at the moment, to be able to know how their minds works. And so the reason why I'm writing essays to help myself first to get these idea crystallized into my mind, as you say, because you're writing everything. For me, it's about forming ideas, forming thoughts that if I'm writing them down, and in a way that another person can understand, another person can understand. It's the process that helped me crystallize ideas into my mind. So that's why I think I can be valuable for your initiative.
So many nuggets. Right? Like find the problem, put it out in the universe, understand what your own capabilities are, and that you can take something that you might think is not specifically related, but your ability to break down problems from the engineering mindset can carry over, right? Because it's the same formula. There's just so much there. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. When Thomas mentions that he's with our initiative, he's actually one of our advisors within our program now, and we are really excited to work with him. Clearly, everyone here can tell that Thomas is very informed and very helpful. But I did, before we let you tell everyone how they can contact you and we wrap up, a couple of things that I want to mention. So overall, I asked to gauge the audience, and I saw one response, and that was from an early stage startup. We want you to get to the place to where you could work, toward making deals like the ones that Thomas is speaking about. And so for that to be able to happen, there's some prep work that you're going to need to do, obviously. So we do have a wait list available and open right now for an idea validation course. And it's really just to help you guys get kind of out of that stage into the place where you're prepared for growth. So that we've been posting about it. You should have the link. I'll actually drop it in our Slack group. If you're not in our Slack group, you need to be. So go ahead and dive into our Slack group and join. We're very helpful in the same way that we're helpful on this live within our Slack group. But I just wanted to drop one more just very practical thing for you guys. In a corporate setting, internal innovation, they run through ideas all the time. There's a backlog, right? We all know what a backlog is. And there may be 10 ideas that bubble up to the top, and then it goes right back into the backlog. It just keeps cycling through like that. And until an idea has come up that has a large enough market that it can go through discovery. And so discovery is going to be research, it's going to be interviews, it's going to be tons of just poking. Is this going to work? Is this going to be something? And that may go on for months before they actually take it from that phase into let's start small. Let's see what we can do with this. So just overall personal opinion from experience, personal experience, and then from also just working with startups. I also own an agency and they all come to me. Most people that come to me are ready to build whatever it is that they're ready. And even if I tell them, hey, maybe you should wait, they're ready. So we move forward. We don't spend enough time in that discovery phase. And I get it. Sometimes it's just you. Sometimes it's just you with your idea and you're siloed by yourself. And you're the only one telling you whether or not you should do it or not. So you have to be a little hard on yourself and say, have I tested this enough? Have I gone through enough stages and gotten enough validation at this stage before I bring it into the next phase? And if it's you and a team member, you have to be open enough to listen. And both of you guys are on the same page and you listen to each other and say, hey, is this good? Should we jump on this, move it to the next stage? Because ultimately it's your money, right? And it's either going to produce or multiply for you, or it's going to be a waste. And the only way that you can ensure that it isn't a waste is that you spend some time in that discovery phase, that validation phase. So the course that we've actually created is 3 months. I think that is a minimum amount of time that you should be validating your startup before you've done really much else, just validating. So take advantage of that course if you are early. If anything, it's for accountability for you so that you don't go and just spend a ton of money and time in a direction that you shouldn't head in. And of course, shoot us over any questions in our Slack group. Join our Slack group, okay? So that is it for me today. I'm going to let Thomas tell you guys how you can reach out to him and chat with him, because he's amazing. Thank you so much, Thomas. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Let them know how they can reach out.
I think the most easy way to reach out is through LinkedIn. So my name is Thomas Tcheudjio. So it's Tcheudjio. It's spells TCHEUDJIO. It's from Cameroon, and I'm always happy to connect with people and to help them achieve the goal, or just to talk, because I think talking about business is my most favorite things to do. So I'm always like I'm always down for a chat.
Awesome. Okay, I don't see anything else in the chat, guys. I will drop some links in our Slack group for you. If you guys have not, actually, you can go to our website if you don't have, because I can't think of I don't readily have our Slack group.
It's
Our Slack group. Go for it, Kelly.
The Slack group is Startup ROI Founders Community Network. So, and if that's too much to remember, the website is startuproi.com. You can get access to the Slack group through our website as well, which might be easier.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in the top corner of the website. Just click it and join. It's free to join. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday. Enjoy the rest of it. Relax, rest, founders. Gosh, founders need to be told that rest a little bit, and prepare yourself for Monday. So we'll chat with you guys soon. Thanks a bunch.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
coming. Thanks, Thomas.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.